we good?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Jed Freels. I'm from Cal Middle School. You already know Jared and Tony. I feel really humbled to be here. I was thrilled we got to be here. I was thrilled to be in the guitar class of 2011. My goal in the next 15 minutes, which I forgot to start my watch, is to try to take you through the whole idea of what STEM really meant to me and why it is successful, period. You start a guitar STEM program, and all of a sudden, your students start saying different things. You know that happens. Okay? And what you hear in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month, you're going to decide whether that major program was successful or not, right? Because that's reality. Because if you don't hear it from your students, you're going to hear it from your administration, or in my case, you're going to hear it from your parents, or you're going to hear it from your fellow teachers. So you listen real closely to what your students are saying. Right off the bat, you hear stuff like, Mr. Freels, if you wind the string too tight, it'll break? Yeah, well, that's because if Mr. Freels forgets that he made it a different length and tells you that it's still an A string and you should wind it to A, you're not going to be able to wind it tight enough to get there. Mistake one for me. I pulled out that book Tom gave us, the old one, this thick, geez, oh, Pete, did I mess the cedars up? Yeah, I heard that about 7 times that day. I made a quick call to the art department and said, Jared, how many strings do we have down there? We kept changing strings out, and then we finally regrouped and redid. You hear stuff like this. I don't think it's the same tension my counselor keeps talking to me about. Middle school kids, that's very true, all right? Their idea of tension or mine was different. You hear things like, ouch, Miss Frill, they need to go to the nurse. All right, well, fortunately, the nurse is closed. You hear stuff like, I think my mom and dad were talking about a humbucker last Friday night. Yes, they are middle school kids, let me tell you. But the conversations start really generating. My dad had 2 pickups too, a Chevy and a Ford. Right? You hear stuff like this one. I still don't get why the hardness of my wood is important. You just say, if you don't stop, you're going to the office, young man. All right? No, seriously, these are real things that we hear. Middle school kids look for something to say. Okay, they want to get your goat. They want to, Mr. Freels, did you know that there's a note that starts with? Yeah, I know that note. We're not talking about it, all right? You hear stuff like, what continent is intonation on? All right, well, okay, kids, let's all focus and get right down to the parts of the guitar. Yeah, well, that really gets you in trouble. Mr. Freels, I can't find my nut. Mr. Freels, I just busted a nut. Mr. Freels, is this the best nut you got? Okay, well, for 8th grade boys, I don't care how you hook them, but now you have them hooked. And all of a sudden, your class is like, oh, I wonder what we're going to talk about today in Mr. Freels' class, all right? And, for me, I want you to know that STEM is real. And I wear, my career on my sleeve with all my students. They know who I am. But it's still hard for me to engage them sometimes until I grab a guitar. Or I grab something that gets them engaged. For me, STEM changed my life when I was about 14 years old. That's just the bottom line, okay? My sister got a guitar. My mom made me take 6 years of piano. I used to sneak into my sister's room and pick up her guitar and play it. And finally, when I was about 14, I told my mom I wasn't taking piano anymore. Fortunately, when I got young, RCA and Delta and a few other people thought, okay, maybe this guy's got something. I got real lucky in the 80s and 90s and went on to sign a couple of contracts. And I don't have to do anything in my life that I don't want to do. I teach because I want to teach. It just happens to be the school is 3 miles from a little ranch I bought. I go there. I love what I do. My kids know that. Okay, they know who I am. They know what I do. And they come in every day and they say, Mr. Freels, I found pictures of you from the last century. You had hair. I know I had hair. Okay? For me, I had to go and do something that my curriculum is going to be established. So how do I take what I already know and who I am and get that to my kids? Well, Tony goes to the guitar summit at Purdue. I didn't go because, first of all, I'm an IU fan. I'm not going to spend time at Purdue. Second of all, I couldn't go. He came home so excited. I'm like, why is the math teacher so excited about it? I like guitars. I don't even know how many I have. Okay? But I'm not going to go build one. And then my art teacher says, hey, you want to go to that guitar summit like Tony did? I said, yeah, I got an invitation that we could go. We go, and all of a sudden the wheels just start turning about. Maybe I am still teaching. Kids like me because I'm an entertainer. Kids like me because I got a lot of stories to tell. Kids like me because I'm a coach and I'm dynamic. I get that. But if I could give them something that they can really learn, now I've really done something. Now I've really changed the world. So I go to the guitar store and tell them I build this guitar. All right? I love it. I love this guitar. I never play it, okay? I hate to say that, okay? It sits in my cabin. Lots of guys that come visit me, okay? Augie Blaylock, a Grammy winner, he takes it off the wall. He says, I see why you got this hanging on the wall. It's a great little guitar. I like it. But there's a reason that Fender and Gibson do what they do, and Martin, and do it really, really well. I'm never going to be able to get this into my curriculum, this guitar. So then I'm thinking, how do I put it in my curriculum? So I had to come up with a way. How do I get this in there? What do I teach as a science teacher? Because that's what I am. I'm a science teacher. I have a degree in speech communications with a degree in theater and an emphasis in radio and television broadcasting and performance. When I was in college, my mom said you better get a real degree while you're there too. And I picked up another degree in general education and science. Okay? So then I think, all right, I'll go back. How do I do this? I got to plan. I got to do something, and then I got to act on it. What am I going to do? Well, here's what I decided to do. I just took a variable that I was working on that week. Students got to understand the relationship between independent and dependent variables. Okay, we do that in all kinds of ways. You know, how much will the balloon lift, or whatever you want to do. For me, though, all of a sudden I had this new hook. Guitar. So I whip out my guitar. Kids love it when I play. They know us as five guys in a window. We are really, really lucky to have that level of playing ability because we can kind of sound good to them. We were also really, really fortunate that when I got out of the music business, rather than sell my stuff at pennies on the dollar, I kept it. I built onto one of my buildings, and for us, we back up to one of my buildings, and there's amps and trusses and lights, and if we want to go do something, we go do it. Okay? Now, we're kind of hacks. I'm a hack. But in my kids' eyes, if I can use my hack ability, okay, and teach them independent and dependent variables, things are going to be beautiful. So what did I decide to do? What do I want them to do? I'm going to build them a guitar. And in that guitar, I'm only going to use three things. String tension, string length, and pitch and sound. I don't even tell them which one's which. I don't even write a lab anymore. I mean, my kids do it on. I hate to hand out a lab, because when you hand out a lab, the kids just fill in the blanks. They don't learn anything. Okay? That's a disservice we do in the science education world today. We do a great lab, and then we give them all these blanks to fill in, and they fill out the blanks, and they don't learn anything. So for me, they keep a hardcore lab book. And when I give them the objective, today's objective is to relate some independent and dependent variables, and I throw it up there, and I say, let's go. They all look at me like, huh? What do you want me to do? What am I supposed to do? Well, which one's which? And I sit on my stool and start playing my guitar. Or I start messing. And then they start thinking, and then they start learning. For me, what happened in this project was this. We've struggled for 5 years to implement the guitar stem building project. But we try to use it in our classes all the time. And this is just one of the examples of what we did. So I built what we call the cedars. About $1 a piece in them. $2. Okay? I bought an old Alvarez guitar made in Canada. They're not bad guitars, but I stripped the tuning pegs out of it, and that was it. I had a set of strings laying around. I used that set of strings. I drilled a hole. I glued them up. We had some old salmon boards, and we just glued them under so they looked kind of cool. We put some fake dots on there. They don't mean crap, all right? Don't even try to put your fingers where they go. And I laid them down. And the minute the kids walked into class and saw me, they said, Mr. Freels, you know what's laying on our lab table? I'm like, well, yeah, I put it there this morning. I know. I said, well, what is it? It's not a guitar. I said, well, we're going to find out. I popped that independent variable up there. I pop up there what I want them to do, and I started playing. Well, they start whipping out their lab books. They start doing some research. They're like, hey, do you know that this thing, it's kind of weird. It's called a diddly bow. I'm like, really? Well, that was the name of the project then. Project Diddly Bow. And I said, well, so now what are you going to do? Well, we don't know. What do you want us to do? I said, I don't know. Independent, dependent variables. Remember? String tension, string length, and sound. And the kids were like, oh, what is sound? Okay, now, the whole week before we've been talking about sound. Nodes and anodes and wavelengths, okay? Compression, longitudinal. We've been talking about it all. So pretty soon a few kids go, well, hey, we can figure out what sound is what if you let us use our phones. Sure, go for it, kids. Now, we've used guitar tuning a lot in my class. Doesn't work. So what I wanted was the scale. So then I said, okay, well, let's come up with some parameters, you guys. What do you want to talk about today? What do you need to figure out? And they say, well, let's figure out a couple things. Let's start measuring. I want you to find out C. So I have them tune every guitar to a C. C2, C3, C4, pick one. We break a few strings till they figure out which octave they can tune to. Now once they've got the guitar tuned to C, they use a chromatic tuner on their phone to find the D. Now we're just going to do the majors here, okay? Then they got to find the E and the F and the G. Then they got everything out. And then I said, well, how are you going to relate that to last week's? He said, well, we can figure out the hertz for all this. Sounds like that's another column in your lab book. So we go back to those lab books and they're tediously writing it. They're trying to figure it all out. After day 2, they're like, well, what are we going to do with all this information? I said, well, now maybe we really ought to start figuring out what you should do. So I'll tell you what we're going to do is I want you to learn to play it. Now for me, this is the biggest mistake that we make in guitar stems sometimes. We build wall hangers and coffee tables and closet door props and we never teach a kid to play it. I'm a self-taught guitar player. Not bad, okay? I'm a hack, okay? There's a reason Doug's students love Doug, not just because he picks up guitars, but the first time he picks one up and shreds it, or the kid makes the guitar and he says, well, it just doesn't play very well. And Doug picks it up and makes it sound like $1 million. The kid's going, okay, I get it, okay? But that's a hook. You can't teach a kid to play a 6-string guitar at a guitar stem project. I don't care if it takes you 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, a quarter at college or middle school. You can't teach them to play 1 string. If you can teach them to play 1 string, they'll figure out how to play 6. So what I do then is I say this. All right, here's what I want, kids. I want you to play me the scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and the next C. You got to play me Mary Had a Little Lamb. You got to pick any song you want and play it for me, and then you got to do some kind of freestyle jam. Now they're in learning clubs right now, 5 or 6 of them. They're like, well, we got an extra person. He's your MC. I want to do the freestyle. They're okay with that. I tell them it's got to be written down and repeated. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I can't just have fun? No, it's got to be written down. Now they're back to their lab books. They're saying, okay, who's playing the scale? Well, okay, I got that one. That's the easy one. Well, they think it's easy. Then they try to figure it out. All of a sudden, they start realizing why I used a meter stick for my fretboard. They're like, okay, yeah, don't forget, yeah, it's 9. That's the next note. Then you got to go to the 18. I got 3 minutes. And somebody else goes, oh yeah, the string's in half. Now we got the octave. So now the kid that's playing the scale hands it off to the next guy. He's got to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. He looks at it real quick and he realizes that's a 3-2-1 song. Or a 2-1-0 if you're going to read guitar tab. That's the biggest mistake we make. I teach it 3-2-1 because I teach them the 1 is the C. Then they look up a song they want to play and it's 0-1-2. Now they're making the conversions in their head. But the next guy's playing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay? Everybody's doing it. The next guy's going to play their pre-song. I don't care what it is. A lot of kids go to Smoke on the Water, you know, because everybody gets it. Every guitar player, no matter what, plays it. But there are kids that will do some odd song. I always pick it up, play Amazing Grace for them real quick. Class just gets crushed. You know, they're... That's a little flat there. Sorry, Doug. Okay. But the point is, to my kids, we got 1 string and we're making music. The kid that starts freestyling, he's... And I say, okay, what was that again? And he's like, Okay, by concert day, because that's what they're all living for, is concert day. On concert day, everybody's talking about it. They're in Mr. O'Neill's room, they're in Mr. Bennett's room. No, you should have seen Billy's concert today. But they get up and everything's beautiful. Now the project's over and I say to them, okay, let's write our conclusions. Did we meet our objective? Yeah, we played a great concert. Yeah, it's great. I don't want to do it. No, wait a minute. Let's turn back several pages in your lab book. Did we meet our objective? Do you know what independent and dependent variables? What changed? Which ones were the independents? Well, Miss Freels, that's just stupid. It was the string length and where you put your note. There was a tension. We got it. Oh, okay. And what was the dependent? No, we got it, Miss Freels. That's the sound coming out. We put our finger in the wrong place. It's the wrong sound. My objective was not necessarily to teach them to play a 1-string guitar. My objective was to make them figure out how to look at independent variables and then make changes. Okay? Find out how to change something to do something else, or make something better, or invent something new. STEM education is about making them learn how to take what they're seeing and doing and do something new with it. Okay? It's more than about just the guitars we're building. Does that make sense? And I know we all get that, but I'm not sure our administrators always get that. I'm not sure our fellow educators don't always get that. They're like, you're building a guitar. No, I walked in with these and my principal's going, I don't know what's going on today, but I'll be down. Because she knew something good was going to happen. And my kids, And now we're all about, I got one girl, she is so mad because she was not there and we did not do it during her block. She went to Mr. Lewis, she says, I hate him right now because we didn't get to do that last block. Well, she's coming back to me, we'll do it the next block. It's not about when I do this. When my kids need to learn independent variables, I pull the cedars out. And then they learn. That's all I got for you. I'll answer questions during the question. I think we're right on time.
We are exactly on time.
There you go.